Okay, so I'm here illustrating a children's book that is coming out in March, written by Eleanor Meeker. She is an incredible, incredible writer. It is the first of 4 books, I think. But anyway, so I'm doing that, and while doing that, as some of you may know, whenever I do art, I usually listen to an audiobook or something like that. So this is my audiobook of choice today. This is the second one, or second time I've listened to it. It's Judi Dench, Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent. Phenomenal. We are currently on Much Ado About Nothing, which is my absolute favorite Shakespearean play. For so many reasons. So many reasons. This was the first play in high school that I read where I got his humor. I understood it. I went, this is hilarious. These people are incredible. And I understood for the first time what wit was. It's not just being funny and throwing out a joke. It's presenting a little bit of a commentary as you're presenting the joke, and being able to turn a phrase that sticks with you long after that conversation is done. This is Beatrice and Benedict's. I cannot speak. Wow. Beatrice and Benedict. These are our protagonists. They both are opposed to marriage, which I find really fascinating because this play is set in a household that has the Duke coming back from the war to stay at this man's house. What is really interesting is you get to see the political structure and expectations of the time and of the country, and of course, Elizabethan England, through this family, because you see who is aligned with everything, who are the people that everybody's like, yes, no notes, you're it, this is what we love. And then you see the 2 people that everybody's just like, will you please get in line? And they mock and eventually manipulate. So the 2 people who really, really are aligned with societal expectations are Hero and Beatrice's cousin, and Claudio, who has distinguished himself in war. He is now the prince's right-hand man, and he is Benedict's best friend. They've come back from war, and now these 2 are making eyes at each other, and they're trying to figure out whether or not they are going to make a marital alliance. Now, why is this important? This is important because it demonstrates exactly what the political and social cornerstone was in that day, and that is marriage. Marriage was an economic proposition, which we all know. Of course we all know. So if the girl had money, she was worth marrying. If the guy had money, he was worth marrying. But not just that. One of the things about this time period, and about a lot of time periods in a lot of different countries, is whoever your blood ties were created allies and enemies simultaneously. So being aware of your ancestry, of your blood right, of the standing of your family within the context of the ruling class was essential, because you need to make sure that you're not buying into a family feud with your greatest supporters, who are merchants, whatever it is. So Claudio has just distinguished himself in war. He's made a name for himself, and now he's like, hey, I have the prince's favor. I just won this war for him. Now I can get married. Now Hero on the other side is like, oh wow, he's so handsome, and I really liked it when he came over and looked at me, blah blah blah. But she doesn't talk much, and it's not her choice. We just know that there is an existing relationship that has happened pre-war. Now Claudio is coming back, but what's fascinating about Claudio is that he immediately approaches Hero from an economic standpoint. He asks about whether or not she has brothers. Why does this matter? Because brothers inherit, girls don't. no brothers. So everything that her father owns, which is a lot, would go to Claudio, not to Hero, to Claudio if they married. And he's basically asking, what is advantageous for me in this match? And Benedict is very honest. He's like, okay, well, she's not that beautiful. She has no wit, and she's like, but she's fine. As far as economics, sure. But unfortunately, her cousin, Beatrice, is beautiful, but also a shrew. And this is what's interesting, is he has more to say about Beatrice and her person, not her economic status, than Claudio ever has about Hero. Ever. In the entire play. And it's infuriating for me. But so telling, because you have these two couples. One, Hero's pretty much silent, except with the women. And also like later on in the play, which I won't spoil it for you. And Claudio comes at this from an economic proposal, which is carried through genuinely as a business. He goes to all of the people he needs to go to, besides Hero, to ask for her hand in marriage. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. But next to them is Hero's cousin Beatrice and Claudio's friend Benedict. Now, clearly, they have had a relationship in the past. We're not entirely certain why, but they know each other really well. They hate each other, and everybody knows it. These two never shut up about each other. Ever. In the play. And it's kind of brutal. Like, their back and forths about each other is really intense. However, when a situation happens that makes them go, wait, that person actually likes me, they completely flip, and that both of them speak very eloquently in each other's personal favor. Economic situation does not come up once in the play when it comes to these two. Political posturing does not come up once in this play. It is entirely about their beauty, their skill, their character, and their influence. And it's all about what actually makes a society function is the characters, the people, the moral fiber of the people who are in the society. But during this time, and in a lot of history, we only cared about the economic and the political position. But what happens when you have the perfect economic and the perfect political position, but you don't have the discernment or the character to use it to anyone else's advantage besides yours? That, my friend, is the story of Claudio and Hero, because he decimates her and her family in an irredeemable way, publicly, so that she is utterly ruined. Death is better than living the way that he set her up to be. Now, what's fascinating about this is he is the prince's right-hand man. The prince is involved in this situation, and he demonstrates the same lack of character. Ooh, we have a storm outside. I'm very excited. Beatrice and Benedict, who have been mocked by all of the people who matter in this play politically, are the two people who make the decision to stand up for the wronged and advocate for people who do not have a voice, which is Hero. And they demonstrate what it means to be a person of influence and power, regardless of your economic and political standing. Now, obviously, they are in this same group, so they do have political standing, they do have some measure of wealth. Beatrice must have a dowry. However, it's not that aspect of their character that is ever demonstrated in the play. Instead, we see contrasted the political, social experience with the actual character, the moral character and standing of these two people who are outcasts because they're not marrying for anything but mutual regard and respect for the character of the person that they're in a relationship with. It is a fascinating play. It's one of my favorites. You should totally check it out.